Welcome back to another episode of the Northern Illinois Huskies rebuild. As you can see today, we are just going to be doing the off-season recruiting and transfer portal, stuff like that. We're going to be transferring conferences and kind of just looking over what we're going to have for the next year and some of our incoming freshmen, stuff like that. So this should not be that long of an episode. Obviously, last episode we finished off our season 13-1. We won both our bowl game and the MAC championship, which is why especially we are going to transfer, considering we had such a good season in our conference. Just to let you know what we kind of been doing, I kind of went through some of the people for scouting for week 1 of the offseason. And I feel like we have a decent class. We already have most of our needs kind of filled. Like we're gonna have, I think, over a full roster if we get a lot of if we get a lot of people's scholarships. But we had most of the guys we wanted. We got them, committed early. So we have a lot of points for this. And we went out, obviously, this 4-star, I think, obviously makes a lot of sense to go out and get. He's an athlete, so he could play kind of all over the field. Whether we want him at linebacker, I'm sure he'll probably be able to play like edge rusher, maybe safety, something like that. I think he could play all around the field. So we went after him. Went after some guys in the transfer portal, this D tackle and this left guard. So hopefully we can get them, as it can fill some holes for our team. And then I went after some corners and some receivers and a running back. And I'm just looking for stars now. At this point, we're just looking for gems. Not stars. And then anyone that has a gem, since we have so many scouting points, we're going to try and go out and get. Right now we have technically no need at receiver in terms of roster space, but if you look at our receiving core, our highest overall receiver, Kenji Lewis, is going to be graduating, so our highest overall is a 75 at receiver, or 76 actually. But yeah, I think we need still improvements at the receiver position, and we still have a lot of positions I think that we still need, obviously, to get better in. And that's what we're going to basically be using this whole offseason recruiting thing for. Is just looking for gems in certain spots and trying to get in some guys with some good dev traits. I'm not going to lie, the development in this game is really confusing, though, however, because, there'll be some guys that, for some reason, they don't have a high dev trait, and they're like a 3-star prospect, and they don't even have a good season. They'll literally be riding the bench, and they go up a lot of overall. And then there's guys that have, with, a high development trait that plays really good, and they barely go up. So I don't know really how the development honestly works in this game. I'm still trying to fully figure it out. But yeah, so we're obviously going to be bringing in some guys with gems. That's really all for this week. And yeah, so we're going to get to the next week of the offseason, as let's take a look at what's going on. We're obviously going to be looking only for guys with gems, like I said. But yeah, overall good season. Hopefully we could cap off a good recruitment class. Let's actually take a look where we're ranked in recruitment classes. Right now we're ranked 47th. I don't know if we're going to get too high because of the simple fact of, we don't have a lot of commits. If you look at a lot of these top schools, it's because they have so many commits. I don't know if we're going to get that many commits because I don't know if I want that many commits, honestly. I think with our class, we have that good of a class that we are going to be getting, that I don't really care about trying to get so many guys, as I think it would fill too many spots on our roster. So we're going to max out the points obviously on this guy, and we are number 1 for some of these other guys with gems. And the guys from the transfer portal, we are number 1 for both of them right now, but we have to obviously watch out. There is some schools that are trying to go out and get them. So we're going to give them some visits for these two guys here. Keith Church, who is a true freshman. So he's still, he's still someone that definitely is still young. And then obviously Willie Goodacre is a true sophomore. So they're both still relatively young. He's going to be a junior. He's going to be a sophomore. And then this guy obviously we would love to get. But overall, we still have, obviously, a few gems we're going after. A corner, running back, a receiver. I still want to fully scout some of these receivers because, like I said, our receiving core, I think if we could find some gems, I definitely would not mind getting them on the team. As here we go, we get another gem. And he has only 84 speed, which is kind of interesting, but he is a gem. So hey, we're gonna go out and get him, even though he has 84 speed. Okay, he's like Jake Bobo. Okay, if you know who Jake Bobo is in the NFL, that's my guy Jake Bobo. Okay, he might not be fast, but he's a good ass receiver. I ain't gonna lie. So yeah, we have 110 points to spend. We're gonna obviously go out and look for some other guys. I mean, there's not really many top guys available, but we don't really care. We're more so looking for kind of just some gems. Okay, we're looking for some gems that we could have fill in some roster spots that we need. So I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna come back after I find a few guys that we could target for kind of the rest of the offseason. What we end up doing is going and targeting a kicker, because I didn't realize that apparently we don't have a kicker anymore. So we need a kicker. To be fair, if you watched last season, our kicker did not perform the best anyways, okay? Our one loss was basically because of our kicker, I'm not going to lie. Well, kind of, okay? It's a complicated situation. It was still also our offensive coordinator's fault, but not the point. We're going to try to go out and get a kicker here. Some of these edge rushers I do think we definitely need, as, you know, if we go take a look at a roster, we have only 2 edge rushers on each side. So I would like to add, obviously, to that. So I think a lot of it is our defense that we really need. Offensively, we have a lot of these positions kind of, you know, they're kind of locked up. Obviously, we're bringing in 3 quarterbacks here. So I don't think we need another quarterback. Running back, we're bringing in, or hopefully bringing in 1 running back. And that's really all we need, especially when we have Shakir Westbrooks. He's really all we need at that position. Bringing in a tight end. We're bringing in some O-linemen, and then we could obviously move them around. Obviously, it says we still need 3 left guards, but we're bringing in a lot of O-linemen that we could kind of, like I said, move around. Maybe we bring in 1 more. And then, yeah, it's kind of like defensively is what we're looking at. Probably bring in a few safeties. But, yeah, so let's obviously sim past this week also, as this is week 2. And yeah, so we got 2 more weeks. Here we go. We get our first commit. This is a guy from the transfer portal, and we get another, both from the transfer portal. So we get 2 transfer portal commits, and we get moved out of the list for these guys, which we weren't really on anymore, but we still had them on our board. So, but yeah, so let's get these guys off of our board, as we no longer care about them. Move these guys up. And hopefully we get this 4-star still. Right now, the only school that is trying to get him is Minnesota, which he is from Minnesota. So that could hopefully, you know, it's a little bit too late for them, which it looks like it is. So we should be able to get this guy also. And then we are number 1, obviously, for the rest of these guys that we're kind of on. We have 280 points. So I'm kind of going after these guys without scouting them, these you know, linebackers, or not linebackers, these edge rushers, because I think, especially if we go take a look at what's available at that position, there's not much available. They're the only, like, 3-star guys we can really get. You know, this guy's a JUCO sophomore, so I didn't really go after him. But yeah, they're like the only 3 stars we can really get, so I don't mind going after them. This guy, I don't mind maybe going after if we scout him, because he is already second in interest with our school. So we could just throw him an offer, and he might just be like, all right, you know what, I'm going to commit to the school just because I ain't got nowhere else to go. I got 0 offers. But yeah, we have 220 points to spend, though. And obviously we're going to be recruiting these guys. I would like to bring in this kicker. So we're going to give him some more points. And right now it looks like we're good for the rest of the guys we're on. Yeah, we're going to leave the rest of this how it is, and then we're going to go out and try to obviously find some more guys. Maybe some safeties, I think, is what we're going to look at a lot. And then just overall a lot of the defensive positions, like some linebackers, stuff like that. I think that's the main thing we really need to add to this team. And even when we seen last season, when we were watching, our biggest problem was our defense. Our offense put up a lot of points. The games that we competed in were definitely games that were just both offenses going at it. You know, our defense was not able to get a stop. If we can find a way to get a stop, it would change a lot of things. So yeah, that's basically what I'm going to go do, is try to find some more guys. We have 205 points to spend. Hopefully find some gems, stuff like that, and I'll come back when I find some more guys. And the guys we ended up going after is we gave this 2-star that's really interested literally just an offer and 5 points. We said, you know what, you can come play for our team, probably ride the bench, but you can come play for our team. If he does end up having a good dev trait and he does actually lock in and develop on our team, then hey, I mean shit, you'll play. But we went after this safety obviously right here who is a gem. So hopefully we can get him on the team. I think that would be really nice to add, as we kind of have a weak DB core, or at least safety core, I would say. It's not too deep. We don't have that many safeties. But anyways, we basically added a whole bunch of guys to the board that I think we could go after. Obviously we were scouting mainly. I gave offers to some of these guys just so that maybe we don't stay out of their top, or we're at least in their top 8 if they narrow it down for next week. But I basically just scouted some of these guys. We still haven't scouted all of them, but these are basically all the remaining 3 stars, at least in positions that we could definitely look to add in. And so that being said, obviously we have next week is last week, and we're gonna obviously scout some of these guys and see who we go after. So let's sim this 3rd week of recruiting and see if we have any commits. We get the 4-star middle linebacker who is an athlete, so he kind of can move anywhere. And yeah, so we're first for a lot of these guys, so hopefully we can get a lot of them. Also, just a little tip, which I'm probably gonna upload a video later on, not too long from now, of like kind of tips and tricks when it comes to scouting and like I think things you could definitely get. One thing I do notice about positions that are really easy to get and there's a good amount of like high stars in, is there's a good amount of centers that I feel are really, really easy to get and don't have offers pretty deep into it. And so with O linemen especially, you can move these guys basically all over the O line. So if you go out and get some of these O linemen late in the process and they're centers, you can move them around, but there's always, I feel, a good amount of centers always available. And then same with tight ends. Tight ends is a really easy position to recruit, I feel. Those are, I feel like, the 2 easiest position to recruit. And then like running backs, pretty easy, I think, to get a good amount of running backs that are good. But yeah, so anyways, we have 200 points now to spend as we're going to scout up these guys, see if we have any gems here. If we do, obviously we're going right after those guys. And it looks like we're not going to have any more gems, so we don't. So we have 100 points. Do we want to bring in some of these guys? Do we not? We'll have to see. Let's take a look how we are with some of the guys we're on right now. Number one. None of these receivers are really going after anymore because, oh my, this guy's 5'6". I didn't even realize that when I was looking at it, but he is 5'6". He's not even as fast as you would think. You would think he's way faster for 5'6", but he's not. Anyways, with the receivers, I think we're fine, obviously, with what we're at. We're already bringing in 2 receivers right now. And then, obviously, for these other positions, we're number 1. So it's kind of choosing now, do we want to bring in some of these guys here? I think it does make sense to bring in, obviously, a good amount of these guys. I'm probably going to bring in this D-tackle. This one, Memphis just gave an offer to this guy, so I'm basically just removing him from the board. They could have him. It is the last week of recruiting, so we're probably not going to get him. And then this corner and this linebacker, we're going to try to get all of them, so let's try to split up our points, okay? We want to try to get as many guys as possible and see if we could obviously, get some of these guys to recruit to our, our school, because this is literally the last week, okay? They have nowhere else to go. We have 30 scholarships given out, it looks like. So we're still gonna have an actually really, really big recruiting class. So let's sim this week. Let's see what we have for our recruiting class. We probably, hopefully, have one of the top recruiting classes. We get this cornerback, receiver, the other receiver, edge rusher, and then the rest. As we see some other people commit to some other schools, which doesn't make sense because they don't got no offers from those schools. So unless they gave them that week, usually what happens when that, ever does come up is they usually decommit from that school. Like, oh no, they actually did give him an offer, so he actually is going to be going there. He's actually going to be going there, since they actually did end up giving him an offer. Does anyone? Okay, so they actually all did get offers, so they're actually going to play for that school. But sometimes there's literally guys that commit to a school when they didn't get an offer from them, and they just commit to the school, and then they'll decommit because obviously they wanted to go to the school didn't want to go to or get them. But anyways, let's take a look at top classes. I wonder where we rank. We rank 18th, which is honestly amazing for a school like us. Obviously, we are still a ranked school now, ranked 21, but like overall, we are still not that good of a school in terms of, let's take a look at our school grades. A lot of these grades are not good, right? Except for our championship contender and coach prestige, a lot of these grades are not good, as we don't have, a historically good program. Obviously, we have to build that up over the years. Like the pro potential, hopefully that gets higher in the next few years once we get some people that go to the draft. But a lot of our grades are not that good. Where's our conference prestige? Yeah, conference prestige is a D+. It is not looking good. Obviously, we're gonna transfer, which does change that a lot. But yeah, a lot of these we can't really change some of these grades, but hopefully we get them higher. Ranked 18th in recruitment class is, though, really good. I mean, look at all the schools that are ahead of us. These are powerhouse schools, basically. I mean, literally, we are under, like, the schools under us are still even good. Like, Oklahoma, USC, like, these are big schools. So, we rank 18th. We got 2 5-stars. There's not many schools who had more 5-stars than us. So, yeah, let's take a look kind of at our roster now. For National Signing Day, I actually do want to take a look at some of the depth traits of all the guys we got. Now that we have our complete recruiting class. So the tight end we got, impact. Quarterback, impact, normal, impact, depth trait, star. This quarterback got star. He's probably obviously going to sit as a backup. Who knows what happens, though, in the long run. Normal, impact. We don't know. Impact. Another guy we don't know. So we're moving from the board. Star development for this receiver. So maybe he's someone that, sits the bench for a few years and then, maybe redshirt him and then he'll play, next season. Our receivers that we got, I really like this guy. 96 speed and he's 6'3" physical receiver. The acceleration is kind of low. But overall, I think he's really nice. Star development, like I said. Impact, normal, impact, and star. So this right guard's also pretty decent. This D tackle we should also, like I said, probably get because he got nowhere else to go, and we gave him an offer. So it'll probably be like a late commit. But yeah, so that's kind of how that looks. Position changes now is what we have. I do want to take a look at our athletes, and that's this guy, Ricky Angel. And he's nice at a lot of positions. Oh, my God. He is nice. I mean, edge rusher, he's a 75. Linebacker positions, 75. Safeties, he is a 75. So he's really nice. We could basically move this guy anywhere we want, which I do really, really like because it's versatile. Obviously, if someone goes down on a certain position on our defense, he could fill in right there. And so I don't know what we're going to have him at. Let me take a look. Probably put him actually at like an outside linebacker. I think outside linebacker right here, right outside linebacker would be really, really nice. It's not a good position at all for us. And he plays middle linebacker, so he wouldn't start in any other position on our team. So I think we might make him an outside linebacker. But yeah, I think he was a really, really good, obviously, addition for us. So we're gonna change his position really quick before we kind of look through everything else. Let's change him to a right outside linebacker. And now if we take a look at our outside linebacker position, it looks a lot better, okay? And yeah, he is just insane. I mean, 90 speed, 92 acceleration at linebacker. That is scary. I'm not going to lie. It is really scary if you see this guy. I really like Ricky Angel, okay? Ricky Angel is going to be nice for us. If we take a look quickly at our roster, let's see if we make any position changes. Our freshman quarterback we bring in is a 78 overall. And this guy, I mean, hey, bro, we're just giving him a free scholarship for some free education, but he is not probably ever going to touch the field for us. But yeah, I do like our quarterback room now. We have obviously a really young quarterback room, all freshmen, technically with Sean Dukes. I don't know who we have as a starter. Do we have Jared Suggs or do we have Sean Dukes? I think we'll have to figure that out. Sophomore running back now, Shakir Westbrooks. We brought in another freshman. We have a redshirt freshman in Matt Mann, so he should be nice. We have a lot of receivers, a lot. A lot of these guys obviously will be redshirted and stuff like that. Tight ends, we have a lot of. Obviously, we're gonna have to start cutting a few of these guys. I'm assuming we're gonna have that big of a of a team, and we'll figure it out. Okay, we'll figure it out with this team. We're gonna move some of these guys over to some other positions because they're all kind of filled in the same spot. So. Right tackle, we have a lot of. We're going to move a few of these guys over to left tackle. But yeah, I mean, so far, looking at some of our recruitment class guys, I mean, 74, some of them are pretty high over 75. Like, there's some pretty decent overall so far without kind of fully diving into it. So yeah, I mean, hey, I am all for it. I am ready for our season next year. I'm not going to lie. Edge rushers, we are obviously going to move a lot of these guys over to the other edge. And yeah, so everything else looks like it is good. Maybe we'll move over this guy over to left outside linebacker. Oh, that's the wrong guy. That is the wrong guy. But you know what? I think it works fine. Okay, it works fine. Corners. Yeah, corners I think is definitely a position next year we're going to have to look at a lot. If you look at it, obviously a lot of our corners are all seniors. So we're going to have to bring in a lot of corners next year. And then safeties look pretty decent. So let's go obviously to the next week and see what the progression kind of looks like for our team. Because, we definitely hope that there's obviously a lot of progression. Hopefully our team's good. Training results we have. So this is basically what the roster actually looks like. Well, we'll take a look actually. Oh my, we already seen the surprise, but we're going to take a look next week where we have to encourage transfers. But I already seen our tight end from last year we got was a high overall. So yeah, and now we could obviously change conferences. So this is kind of all the big part of the offseason. We actually don't have over the limit. I'm kind of surprised. I thought we definitely would. I do want to probably cut some of these receivers. Like this guy, I'm sorry, Cam Thompson, but you're not going to play at all. I mean, you are what? Our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're our 8th receiver in the depth chart, and you're a senior. So, yeah, I'm sorry, but it's time to go. And then with these guys, I mean, sorry, bro, but you are our worst tight end, and you're a junior. Things happen, bro, but you'll figure it out, okay? Somewhere someone will want you to play for them. Just our school's starting to get too good. The rest of our positions, obviously, we're good at, so we're not obviously going to cut. But now it's actually really time to actually go and look through our roster now that, development has happened for a lot of our guys. So let's take a look. At the quarterback position, Sean Dukes went up only 2 overall. And this is what I mean by, I'm really confused by the development in this game. Sean Dukes has elite development, the highest development you can in the game, and he was a 4-star, I think it was. And he only went up 2 overall, redshirted freshman year. So I don't know, the development in this game doesn't make the most sense, considering he only went up 2 overall with elite development. Shakir Westbrooks, you don't like to see. Obviously, again, another guy with elite development. He only went up 3 overall, and he just had an insane season. So that doesn't make the most sense. But overall, he's still our best running back. But it is interesting because, if he does not develop still, for a few years, some of our other running backs could overtake him in overall. But overall, I still obviously really like Shakir Westbrooks. But yeah, I wish we seen him go up more overall. But we have a pretty good running back room. 2 80s. Matt Mann, who was a redshirt freshman that we got in the recruitment class last year, he was a 3-star with, I think, star development. And you see he went up a quite a bit of overall. So he looks like he could actually be a good part to our team this year. Fullback, we don't care as much about, but we saw some development, which is good. If we take a look at a receiver room, it's still not the greatest, but it's not that bad. Okay, we're definitely gonna need to add some receivers. Also, like I said, what corners? It looks like our corners and our receivers are two of our positions that we're definitely gonna need to look to get, because a lot of these guys are seniors and it's already not that good of overalls. It didn't look like a lot of our receivers went up too much in overall. Tight end though, Taylor Fisher. I don't remember what his dev trait was. I'm pretty sure he did have a high dev trait. 4-star recruit last year, 86 overall now, sophomore year. I forgot what he was. I'm pretty sure he was like 75 to like 78. He was in between that range. Now all the way up to an 86 overall. And we have a 5-star freshman that we also got, who obviously maybe we redshirt. But yeah, I mean, Taylor Fisher looks like he's going to be a big part of our offense this year, as he took a big jump. And then on the O-line, we have an 80 overall with this guy. We have a 79 at this position. One of the transfers we actually got is actually not that bad, 78 overall. Our center is a 78. Right guard, oh my, Michael Jamar took a jump to an 86 overall. Honestly, I don't know what he was before, but he couldn't have been that high because I don't remember the name too much. So yeah, big jump from him. And then at right tackle we have Luke Scartvet, 79 overall. So our line's not that bad. On the edge, here we go. This is a big one. Redshirted freshman last year, 4-star recruit we got in the recruitment class last year. Took a big jump from I think a 74 to an 83. Now he looks like our best edge rusher. Yeah, I mean, literally, he looks like our best edge rusher, at least on the left edge. We have to see what our right edge looks like, but, hey. Our D tackle position does not look the best. Jonathan Gee, who is a redshirt freshman, is our highest overall. And then, yeah, right end is also not the greatest either. But, hey, we saw some development. Sophomore Oscar Prochet now is a 76 overall. He was like a 74. So yeah, this is what I mean. A lot of these high dev trait kind of, high overall guys, it's looking like they're not going up too much of overall for some of them, which is kind of confusing. But Oscar Prochet is still pretty decent. Jake Gassaway, 81 overall. And we have sophomore Damon Mangum went up to a 79. He had to not be even close to that before. I'm not gonna lie. I don't remember these guys over. I wish it kind of did like 2K at the development phase in 2K. You could see like, you're like able to see how much like plus they went, like plus 12 overall or whatever it is from what they were before. I wish that was in this game also, because I don't remember his overall before this. Our best right outside linebacker is still Ricky Angel, our freshman that I do, like I said, really like. Corners doesn't look the greatest. Obviously still not that bad at all. But, no one that we really recruited. These are none of the guys that we recruited. These kind of guys that just have kind of been on the team. Safeties. We have Ethan Tierney, who went up to an 82. He's pretty good. And then a strong safety, Santana Banner, is an 83 now. And these guys also took a pretty good jump. Quincy Nquincy and Matthew McChristopher, who both we got last year. They both took a jump, and now they look like they could actually play a pretty good role. Now our kicker and our punter, they're existing. Okay, they're on the team. So the team doesn't look that bad. Okay, like we've seen some development. Honestly, I wish maybe we seen a little bit more development, but we didn't. And now for the big time, customizing conferences. We're gonna transfer conferences, okay? Right now, obviously, we are in the Mid-American, and we're the only ranked school here. We're obviously the best overall team. The only team that has a close overall is Toledo. But yeah, we just look like we're too good for this conference. And we saw it obviously being a big reason why we're only ranked 21st. Going 13-1, 8-0 in conference, and we're ranked 21st. There were some teams ranked ahead of us that weren't that good, at least that I think, and a lot of it is because of our conference. So we're going to transfer, I think, to the Big Ten. I think it makes sense. There's obviously Illinois and Northwestern who's in this conference, both other Illinois schools. And then obviously there's a lot of schools in the relative area, Ohio State, Michigan State, Iowa, India, Minnesota. Like it makes sense for us to be in this conference. So we're going to add a school here. And let's see if we're a 1-star still. Are we a 1-star still? Or no, we're probably up to a 2-star. So, yeah, no, we're up to a 2-star. Team Northern Illinois is added to the Big Ten. So the Mountain West, or the Mid-American, I mean, they're falling apart, okay? It looks like they lost another team. Obviously, maybe we decide to add a team that's playing really bad over there to kind of fill their spot. But right now, obviously, no one's kind of looking like that. If anything, it would be Northwestern if we play better than them, I think would make sense. But anyways, yeah, so now we're in the Big Ten. A lot more talent is going to be obviously what we play against. We have to now play against schools that we are on par with or slightly worse than. In some cases, like the Oregon Ducks, a lot worse than. Ohio State, a lot worse than. So our record could look obviously a lot different than 13-1, but it's overall against a way better talent. I mean, like I said, if you look at Mid-American, I mean, we had to play against Akron, Ball State, Bowling Green, Buffalo Bulls, Kent State, Miami, Ohio, Eastern Michigan. Like, these schools are not good. And we were kind of basically just beating up on a bad conference. And now that we're obviously good enough to compete in the Big Ten, it makes sense to obviously be here. So we transfer conferences. That's probably the biggest part of this episode. And yeah, I mean, obviously, that's really all we have. We're going to obviously sim past the off season here. And obviously next season, we're going to kick off our season next episode. Start our recruiting, all that. We can customize our schedule. Obviously, if we play an FCS school, we probably don't want to have that in our schedule, which we don't. So we're obviously going to leave our schedule how it is. But yeah, I mean, look at our schedule now compared to last season. We play a lot more talent. Michigan, Indiana, Wisconsin, Wake Forest, Virginia Tech, Maryland, Washington, Michigan State, UMass, Minnesota, Rutgers, Iowa. We play a pretty good schedule. And obviously we have to figure out what we're going to do with our team next episode. Who we're making our red shirts. Who's going to be our starting quarterback. Likely will be our 5-star that we got. Because I expected a bigger jump from Sean Dukes, but he didn't. So overall, though, really good offseason, really good season last year. We transferred this year, and now it's really time to see are we kind of frauds, or are we actually going to be good in a good conference? We have 20 points to upgrade our coach skills. We'll do that also next episode. But yeah, so that's the offseason of year 2. And kicking off our season next year, I want to actually take a look quickly before we actually end what it looks like in the recruiting. Is there any top recruits that actually care, or 4-stars? So yeah, this is what you like to see. A 4-star that has us number 1 is something that you really like to see. Carlos Grimes. So, hey, I'm not gonna lie, this is a guy where there's a chance where, honestly, if I give him a scholarship, he might literally just commit off the start, like just nothing, don't have to do anything. But yeah, anyways, thanks for watching. This is episode 10 maybe, I don't know. Anyways, thanks for watching. See you in the next episode, and we transferred to the Big Ten.